most part, it's really solid.
Let's calm down.
Old Baylai is a masterpiece, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
Old Baylai was weird. I liked it, but man, it was weird.
Because it's a story told from the perspective of an orc.
Yeah, but
it's one of the only
still.
times I like subjectively have forgiven the shit animation because it's being told from fucking orcs, but that's still not an excuse in all reality.
No, it's not. No one's saying an excuse, but the fact that we have a story being told by an orc and it's presented as if an orc was talking about it is amazing.
So, anyone here know how to read musical notes?
Yes, I
No.
can.
At all?
So by the way,
Alright, here's the meme
live.
that'll stress you out.
We're live, by the way.
We're live.
You could have
What's
told
up?
me.
Oi, what we doing with the oomies?
We're talking more fucking Warhammer, Jake. That's exactly what we're doing. And two people that have not shown up on these Warhammer episodes. Max, how are you doing?
Huh?
Great talk. Tanner.
Tanner punished slowpoke.
I'm still in a dream. Slowpoke tail eater.
Oh,
So
it cost $1 million polka dollars to eat a slowpoke tail.
Yeah.
So
It's delicious,
to
too.
fucking to get set up for this part, Tanner, what did I ask you to do?
You asked me to watch all of Angels of Death,
Get it right.
I don't care. What was the other two? Hammer and Bolter and Exodite, and then I watched them the next morning.
And I wasn't prepared for how prepared you were getting for this, because I was just like, hey, could you do this thing for me? And then the next day you went, I have 4 pages of notes. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
all right.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
Wyatt,
I asked you to fucking do this, and you went, and so no, hold on, I'll tell this. I was like, hey Max, so we also have another free spot. Could you please watch these shows? You watched an episode of one, gave up, watched another episode of Angel. You watched this was Hammer and Bolter.
I watched Angels of Death for 4 episodes before giving up. Get it
Oh,
right.
you made it sound like you only watched like 1 episode.
No, I made it 4 episodes in for him. This is fucking cringe and it's hurting my eyes. I don't want to fucking watch this shit anymore.
But then I was like, okay, watch some Hammer and Bolter. You watched an episode.
I watched that episode. It was so fucking stupid. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I watched a few more episodes afterwards, but I was just like, man, oh man, this is dumb.
The first episode is literally the worst one.
I still think the Sisters is the worst one.
No, story-wise, in combination with the animation.
Okay, the first episode's
the worst.
Yeah, but like, because the Sisters of Battle one, in terms of animation, is probably the worst.
Oh, easy.
It's like,
oh yeah,
wow, we're supposed to have this.
Just so you could have seen the bad animation, Max, did you actually check that one out?
I watched the Sisters of Battle one. Yeah, that was the other. I watched the old Bale Eye, and then I watched Sisters of Battle, and I watched Fangs, and I was like, man, these are stupid.
Oh, did you not? Were you not able to check out the Sigmar episodes in time?
No, I didn't watch that one. Because
I actually kind of liked the Sigmar, at least the only one Sigmar episode I watched.
It felt really strange because like we've had this discussion before. Is Sigmar a planet in the 40K?
No,
universe?
it's not.
It's not.
It's a different universe.
Yeah,
Okay.
in fact, it used to be called Warhammer Fantasy. Then the End Times happened, and it was like a soft reboot into Age of Sigmar. Wouldn't it?
No.
Hold on, isn't it considered a soft reboot when you have elements of the original?
Yeah, I like Tanner being here because he can call fucking Wyatt on his bullshit fucking Warhammer knowledge.
So hold on, no, well,
Thanks,
this is just a storytelling concepts in general. Isn't a soft
some
reboot
of the gods, but none of the characters, basically.
Well, that's why I was asking. Like, isn't a soft reboot it's you're repeating stories, or basically you're continuing on, but you're leaving enough open room to just you can tell new shit. Like, because a lot of people say like Force Awakens is a soft reboot because you're telling like a rip-off version of A New Hope while continuing the overall story.
Force Awakens is still a sequel because it occurs after. Age of Sigmar is a sequel, but also a hard reset of the universe because there are entire factions that are no longer in existence.
Right.
Several factions got entirely reworked and are completely different from how they used to be. Lizard folk, for example, are very different. The vampires, the entire Order of Death, Grand Alliance of Death, they got reworked almost in their entirety. The human factions got rewrote to hell and back. Dwarves basically barely existed for a long time. And every character that everyone had ever grown to love was killed off screen. Almost. There was a bunch of deaths on screen for books, but the end times happened, the Vermintide, everything bad happened at once. Sigmar created a new world, Nagash smuggled some undead into it. And a couple other gods smuggled their beings.
So by that point, like, what is actually like a soft reboot then? What is, if that's not one, then what is? I just suddenly have no fucking sound. What the hell?
And then chaos.
Okay,
Hello? There he is.
My entire sound just decided to just turn off.
Okay, that
Cool.
was fucking weird.
Wasn't interesting anyways. Go ahead.
No, so Jesus.
Wyatt, these are playful jabs. We don't hate you. We all love you, but we're gonna have fun. That's the whole point. We want to have fun.
Yeah, I don't hate you, Wyatt. I just tolerate
Jake
you.
hates you. He told me in secret.
No,
So
no,
what-
I said I hacked him.
So if Age of Sigmar isn't considered a soft reboot, what is a soft reboot then? For what is an example of
A
like
soft reboot would be 40K, in my opinion. When going from the Rogue Trader first edition to second edition, it was a soft reboot in you have a lot of the named characters and they just quietly brushed away a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's fair because I got my I think I got my definition of soft reboot from Red Letter Media, I think, because they were talking about either The Force Awakens or Jumanji.
So wait, so for the second edition, is that when like Horus became a Primarch, or was that not?
No, Horus wasn't a Primarch until like 3rd or 4th edition.
Okay.
Well, the problem is why I give you backed up with source though, because it's like that doesn't sound like something they'd say for either of those franchises.
I think they were talking about in a review of which one was it? Hold on.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't sound like something they'd say, and if they did, then that's completely wrong.
Okay.
Because Jumanji is not a soft reboot; it's a sequel.
So a soft reboot still acknowledges the original as canon and can still be set in the same timeline, usually ignoring countless sequels. So like you start with just the original movie and then you have a whole bunch of additional ones that come after it. We ignore all those. The original's canon, and this is a reboot of what happens after.
So like Superman Returns.
Well, I guess you can technically count Force Awakens as a soft reboot because of the fact that it reboots all of the EU shit.
Hard reboot is a complete restart. Age of Sigmar can be kind of considered both a hard reboot and a sequel, in the fact that technically all the events that come from fantasy are canon, but no longer relevant.
See, this is why I like talking about like just story concepts when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Because everything that happened in fantasy, yeah, it happened. Who cares? It's not relevant. Nobody's alive in the setting that would be affected by it, except for Nagash and Sigmar, who's a deadbeat dad god.
Aren't Gotrek and why do I always forget the other guy? Which is weird because I like the other guy more than Gotrek.
Why are you talking about Elden Ring, Doug? We're talking about 40K here.
I will be also completely honest. I know a lot more about fantasy than Sigmar, so
fair enough.
You want to say Gotrek and Sindri, but that's not it.
Yes, we're talking about God of War. We're talking about Force Awakens here, man. Come on. Keep up.
Yeah, come on.
Why, Tanner? You know the answer. Why are you not just saying it?
He likes watching you fumble.
Who is the other person?
Gotrek
And Felix. Thank you. Nobody. Me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I heard
that.
Gotrek and Felix made it over to Sigmar.
I don't, like I said, I know a lot more about fantasy than I do Age of Sigmar. I'm just starting to get into Age of Sigmar. I just know how the transition happened. And it was upsetting to a lot of people. It happened in 2015, I think. I was really into Warhammer lore closer to like 2008.
Okay.
So I wasn't actively following when Age of Sigmar moved over, so I don't know who is accurately transferred over.
Then my thing is just, if it's not 40k, I'm kind of just not interested. I'll play Total Warhammer.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't really want to watch the Sigmar thing because that's not what I signed up for.
The Age of Sigmar episode in Hammer and Bolter is the only one that's halfway animated.
Well, I would also argue
that's because they had time. That's hold on. That's because that's a good example because the Age of Sigmar episode, the Gene Stealer one, and then the 2 prequel episodes to Angels of Death, they're the only ones that had fucking time to be made, so there's clearly an improvement.
Yeah, it's really weird with, especially with Angels of Death, where it's like, okay, this story is relatively okay, but like the chainsword just sounds like a really poor recording of a chainsaw. Like I said last time, it should have a really chunky, like heavy noise.
Yeah,
like Chainsaw Man, which did it really well.
Yeah, like Chainsaw
Like
Man.
they
Exactly.
literally fucking had a chainsaw like in the fucking sound booth. That's literally how they got the sound for Chainsaw.
Oh
Man.
wow!
Like it's literally a fucking chainsaw. Like there's nothing like that's not like an
it's not
exaggeration.
pre-recorded, but
Yeah.
it is recorded specific for the purpose.
Exactly.
And then probably they mastered the sound a little bit more than likely.
More than likely, but yeah. But the idea of like, because like there's points where he's like standing idly, and you can hear a chainsaw just like idling, like you know what I mean, not revved up.
So let's start with the episodes.
The difference between efforts and non-effort.
We'll start from the episodes that I asked you to watch, Max, and then we'll move on from.
Well, where did you guys? Because apparently you guys didn't even get through. I'm curious. You should just pick up where you left off.
I think we left off at Question of Fate. It's been months between these episodes. I should have even realized.
5 months ago.
I think we left off after the Mechanicus episode, right?
Okay, so we were after Kill Protocol. So now we're at Cadia Stands.
Yeah, Cadia Stands. Yeah.
Cadia Stands was an example of not only was it bad animation, it was bad sound effects to the point you can hear the fucking screaming goat meme in the background.
Yeah.
They also they used the Wilhelm scream during it, I believe.
Yes, they did.
They also did the Wilhelm scream during it was either Baleful Eye. No, it wasn't Baleful Eye. It was the Sisters of Battle one.
Bale Eye.
No, the other one. The Sisters of Battle one. Where all the fucking guys are running in on the 2 sisters.
Oh yeah.
And you could totally hear Wilhelm when like one of them gets shot, and it's like, really?
It's about 2/3 of the way through the episode. I remember, yes.
So the fact that they use it in another episode is just like, man, you guys really didn't fucking try, did you? It's like, what are they trying to do?
I think with Cadia Stands, they just wanted to show guard shit. Tanner, I can hear myself through your mic. Are you? Are you not wearing headphones or something?
He's become powerful.
No, I have open back headphones.
Here. Okay, it stopped. There we go.
So just turn your headphones on. Usually that's what it is.
Well, no, I just took a slight scoot away from the microphone.
That's fair. Yeah, I just wanted to show guard versus Tyranids. That's like the whole thing they wanted to do, and show the mentality of like, oh, even if they're literally being buried by their own dead, once they're pulled out of the pile, they're like, put me back up on the wall.
Yeah. I think it was really accurate to the guard themselves, and the fact that Tyranids are horrifying to go against because it's literally waves upon waves of bugs. And they did a couple things that I liked for the military-wise aspect. The fact that they would write things. People in like World War II and World War One, they actually would write things on like mortar shells and stuff. They still do this to a degree.
Right.
The fact that they literally in the like what's it called screenshot that they used for the episode on the menu.
Oh, it's yeah. There's
Have a nice day.
Yeah, there's a have a nice day written on the las gun, and also somebody put a playing card in their helmet, which is
Yes.
That's either World War II or Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent for both. It was really interesting. Animation wise, Hammer and Bolter struggles really hard no matter which episodes you're watching.
Honestly, like it feels really fucking cheap, and like it's almost to the point
is.
of like, why did y'all
Wait,
do this
What
way?
is GW doing with all the money that I keep giving them?
Paying people to see how much we'll actually spend on models.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the thing is, it's like it's so strange, right? You launch your Warhammer exclusive streaming service. You give us like you only give us a handful of shows, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like at best the animation is like
I want to point out that the best animated show on Warhammer TV is Astartes, and it's not even their fucking product.
Yeah, it's literally a fan project.
Astartes.
I got really angry yesterday when we were just talking about the platform itself and how it's not even well programmed.
The website itself is garbage. Like, it's really hard to navigate. Like, the link that you gave me, like, it sent me to an advertisement of it. It took me like 20 minutes to find out where to sign in at.
Yes.
And then when I signed in, like it took me another 20 minutes to actually find where the animations were.
So,
and I literally had to Google it, and I was like, oh, it's like a different website called Warhammer TV. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it was like...
if you go to Warhammer Community to log in normally, there is a link to the page where it advertises the launching of Warhammer TV, but there is no actual link from Warhammer Community that I could find. It might be there, but I couldn't find it. To go to warhammertv.com, I literally had to Google Warhammer TV to find the website to watch these shows.
Well, you know what I say to that, Tanner? Check the fucking group chat.
I would also like to point out, and Wyatt was there when I was doing it. I was trying to sign up for it so I could watch the shows. It would not let me give them money. It refused to let me sign up.
And like I feel like it's weird. It's weird
coming from GW.
It's weird when we're talking about like the meta of the actual like website and how terrible it is, but I feel like it's really indicative of like the effort they put into the actual show.
Yeah, like it's like, I mean, like, granted, I'd rather them put effort in more if they're gonna put. I mean, the script at the very least had more effort put into it than the animation, but still,
it's just
very distracting.
Out of curiosity, I just went to Warhammer Community. Okay. There is a tab on their main website, on the main page, videos and podcasts. Warhammer TV on Twitch, Warhammer TV on YouTube, but it doesn't have.
I'll be right back.
It doesn't have a link to its own fucking website? Are you serious? Yeah. Wow, that's idiotic. That's almost parody, actually.
It does have a thing to let you watch Astartes. At least part of it.
Wait, is it's a thing
on Warhammer Community.
I actually went to the YouTube video to watch Astartes in between these because I was just like, I miss watching this thing.
Then if you go to Warhammer Plus, it takes you to like the subscribe page, so it doesn't help you get to Warhammer TV at all. Let's see if I can find a way to my account. Nope, that takes me to the Games Workshop website.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's all terrible. It's all bad.
I don't think there is a I don't believe there is a actual way to get to Warhammer TV from Warhammer Community, which is their like hub.
I'm just glad that I had it in my fucking browser history that I could find it.
Yeah, but the idea is like you shouldn't have to go through all this
Oh yeah,
shenanigans
no way.
just to literally go over to a different page that you just paid for. Like that's the
Yeah.
most baffling thing is like you have to pay for it on basically another website so you can use it on this website.
And as oddly enough, I think it was either Jake or Max that brought this up like a few minutes ago. In terms of like what you're getting, when the platform was started, they came up with all these shows, and it made me think of like Disney Plus started strong with fucking Mandalorian. Like regardless of Mandalorian's like story quality, they went fucking hard in production.
Yeah,
Like they had that shit ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they cared.
Well, yeah, it's like they knew they were dumping all this fucking money in, so they were like, "All right, we got to start strong."
Yeah, and it's strange. It's very strange.
It was also pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So I think, honestly enough, this with the little we said, yeah, that's all we have to say about Cadia Stands is guards.
It's a decent episode.
I'm really happy the guard players got something that's kind of accurate to their faction.
Yeah.
I just wish that it was better for everyone else to enjoy it.
Yeah, we mentioned this before, is that all of this stuff is really normie unfriendly.
It is. Yeah, it's very well. I mean, granted, like, I guess I was a normie going into it relatively, and you know, I got it, but that's me. That's me.
I remember. Hold on. What the funniest thing is, like, Slur and I went, we're not gonna pause everything to explain to you, Jake. All right, so here's what this thing is. We fucking did it anyway. It was so.
Yes,
it was funny. It was funny yet annoying because we were just like, because we were trying to get our best to like get this research done so we could do the episodes, and look at how that's turned out now.
Like, I understand, like, if you don't know what the Mechanicus is, or you don't know just specifically what the orcs are, but I think, like, in terms of, like, self-contained stories, I think they're fine.
Well, I was gonna ask you this, Max. My opinion is that Old Baelai is the most newcomer friendly because it's just outright explaining a character's backstory. Do you agree?
I'm conflicted on it, because like I feel like it doesn't do enough for the orc culture, but like I said, I'm like not a normie, but also a normie when it comes to 40k. Like I know a little bit about the orcs thing, and I feel like it does not the greatest representation of what culture, but like I could be wrong.
But now
it's not.
But do you now know more about Y.A.R.P? Like that's kind of what I was going at. Like it flat out gave
the Imperial, the old Baelai, because his fucking accent was so thick that I couldn't understand exactly what he said. And then when I turned on the subtitles, I realized there's a whole other funny thing about the fucking subtitles, which I will post because it was literally taking me out of the episode.
Right.
But the guy the story was about was really cool, and I liked all of that shit. So it was fine. Just the animation. The animation at times is really dumb, but I feel like it's dumb for the purposes of it being sold by the story of orcs. Like when all those badges are appearing on the screen, I felt like it was really funny, and like that's exactly how an orc would.
Oh yeah, the Zogoth. We got it back, Zogoth.
But I feel like that only works with the orcs. Like the other things don't have the same excuse, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
to show. Let me
but
copy
please,
these.
For the love of God, show these on the screen.
Yes, hold on. Let me get these.
Insane. Like
that's
they caption things that don't have noises.
Yeah,
like it is weird. Like it's stupid. Like it's honestly a lot more fun to watch it with the subtitles because it's like you have fun reading with the subtitles.
It's like you're watching. Are you watching Warhammer but you're deaf as all hell? Like,
oh, she fell to her knees. I'm glad I heard that. Oh, she falls over. I'm glad I heard that.
So let me show this.
Atmospheric music was my favorite quote.
Oh yeah, that was almost as bad as when we were watching this fucking Snyder cut, and it would
Yeah,
the
but like
subtitles
out of
would go right
curiosity,
to go
Tanner, if you heard,
lamentation.
hang on, Tanner, if you heard the words atmospheric music, what plays in your mind?
Um,
Like what does that mean?
there's an artist that made music that was based on the sounds of nature.
Yeah,
Uh,
but like, what does that mean to a
I
deaf
take it very
person?
literal.
You know what I mean? It felt like it's shit like that. It just like kind of bugs me because it's like,
It's a
what
very
are you trying?
arbitrary thing.
It's
Falls
very
to knees,
arbitrary. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, falls to knees, falls over.
falls over.
Like, dude, that episode was weird.
Thing is, I really liked that episode aside from the animation. Like
I
it's
No,
loved it. I loved that she's like, she came to save us at her darkest moments. Shows 3 pictures of her getting stabbed. I was like, that's funny.
I I don't know. I think I think this may have been one of the examples where the animation was so bad it's like it didn't matter what was actually being like told to me. I
That
was
is
just that
true.
level distracted. I was
that is fair. It was really really bad.
I'm trying to steelman it a little bit, but like, no, I really can't. Like, it was bad. It's just bad animation. Like, for the budget and the like backing and the amount of care that should be done for this freaking show, it's like it's not there.
Granted, like
And
the newest show that's coming out in like a few months looks much better at the very least.
well, I
I don't know
hope
if I'll
so.
be
But the
I
problem,
don't know if I'll be watching it.
well, here's the thing: is like, what was the other show that we were going to cover? Angels of Death. The animation on that is really well done, but it's the art style almost like negates the fucking goodness of it.
It's
And
because
the
it
sound
needed more
design is awful.
it's
The sound
because
design is
Angels of
terrible.
Death is their animation needed more polish. It was the closest other than Exodite that we got, and it just needed like a few more rounds through the render machine.
Yeah, Exodite was also like, oh, Exodite was actually pretty okay for animation wise, but like all of these have the exact same problem, which really is upsetting. Is none of them have good lip sync whatsoever,
No, the lip sync's
which
pretty bad.
is really, 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 really stupid because almost every single character wears a fucking helmet. So you have an
Except when they take it
excuse
off.
in universe. Well, fucking, we'll get there. You have an excuse in universe to not have the faces of the characters, so you don't have to worry about doing lip sync, which clearly you know that you're fucking bad at. But you decide to go with it anyway and show us how bad you are at it. Like, there are certain things, like a Devil May Cry, for example. If you really look at their lips, they aren't exactly matched up to what they're saying, but that's because they're also trying to lip sync for Japanese as well. So whenever you watch like Devil May Cry or man, there's another game that I just played too that had the same thing. Or no, it wasn't a game. It was
It
the
w-
Resident Evil. It was the Resident Evil movies, the
don't
animated ones.
the
The lip
Dragon Ball
sync.
games have that same problem too? They're genuinely just
No,
going
but
like
no,
har har
no,
har.
no. There's a difference between like just like going up and down to like actually moving lips and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah,
But the idea, and also those are designed for Japanese. The English actors just have to match the lip sync. So that's another thing that could also be done is you could put up your product and then you could have your actors try to match that lips. But honestly, there's no way that like what their mouths are doing make the actual words they're saying. So that there's
Mhm.
that too. Um, but yeah, just the lip sync is just something that just bugs the fuck out of me because it's like
now
this, you didn't have to have this problem.
one positive I will say for Angels of Death is that the Black Rage, how it's depicted, is really cool.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Max didn't get that far. So to
I'm
explain,
pretty sure I did.
oh well, no, you didn't see like the end goal of that, which was when they finally get to the patriarch. Like, is it the patriarch or patriarch?
Captain,
I think it's the
No,
patriarch.
okay.
the owner of the city.
No, when they get to no, there's the actual gene stealer is just there, and they
Okay.
fight it, and the medic person who's like keeping an eye on main character person as he keeps like almost succumbing to the Black Rage. We think main character person is dead, and medic person just fucking loses it. And what the Black Rage is, Max, is the Blood Angels with their Primarch Sanguinius died to the hands of Horus. It
Yeah,
like
so everybody
like
they see is Horus. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
they
I remember reading about that.
yeah, so they like we got to see like an outline of the arch traitor.
Yeah,
And
it was.
Actually,
It
if you pause on it, it's pretty detailed drawing.
Oh, is it?
They went through and yeah.
I'll let me pause on it and I'll actually give it a
Yeah.
go.
They actually put there's quite a bit of effort. I don't remember what episode it was in specific.
let the
It's the
seas
end, isn't it?
boil. Let the stars fall.
Oh,
That
yeah,
that Horus Heresy trailer is really good. I wish they would have put the effort the effort from that animation into the other stuff, because that animation's really good.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we were talking about it last night. It's really weird how in terms of the effort put forward, you're only gonna see that in fucking trailers of all things.
And the Hell's Reach fan animation is far more well animated. And like and I think don't they take like snippets of dialogue from the audiobook and they put it there? I think they do.
Yeah, you don't just see like an outline. You can actually see details on the armor of the Archtrader.
Yeah, I'm quickly
It's at
trying to
about 12 minutes 30 seconds.
Are we on episode 9 or
Yes.
12 minutes 30 seconds?
And there's about 3 scenes where you get some different angles on it.
The Angels of Death.
So, Slur was the only person that contested this. He was saying that when someone succumbs to the Black Rage, they don't literally see Horus. They just have like this like spiritual feeling of being there. When it's like I've pretty much asked, like I've asked you, I've asked somebody who works at one of our local GW shops. No, it's very literal, right? Like they do see Horus.
It's kind of like a they get transferred and they see through the eyes of their Primarch, because his death scream sent a psychic shockwave that resides in the gene seed of every angel, every blood angel. So the Black Rage is them literally seeing, like they feel their Primarch die, and they see the Archtrader, and their mind is just
also
void of everything else.
I feel like on a slight meme note, Max, I feel like you would have kind of laughed because he literally does the eyes glow meme when he succumbs to the Black Rage.
Well, they also do they go into a fog effect as well the entire time to kind of represent the fog of his mind.
Thanks for Henry Cavill.
So which
the
part
way
are
you spell
you?
his name.
I was going to say which part are you struggling on?
Henry.
Cavil.
See, Henry Cavill doesn't have a Twitter. I was literally about to DM him.
He's on Instagram.
I was gonna
good. He does. I'm glad he doesn't have a Twitter.
Yeah, he's on Instagram and he talks and he's like, "Hey, I'm just hanging out with my dog. My dog Cal."
Please tell me Henry Cavill's married with kids.
Hey, Henry,
no, actually.
That's correct. Oh, he needs to pass on to superior genes.
Just fucking
Black Rage. Do you think they see an actual image? It's not Horus, right? It's
Horus. It is Horus, the Archtrader.
Whatever, a Horus. I'm not writing an Archtrader.
Are you actually messaging Henry Cavill?
Or do they think they see it? Please respond
immediately.
Like, if you get a response, I'm gonna laugh.
He's just like, somebody's talking about Warhammer. Yes, I shall respond.
No, yeah. Turns out
that I'm not bullshit. Like I actually did some that.
Oh my god!
Love you.
I love you. I mean, like we all love him. Let's be honest.
Here's the thing.
And now we wait.
This would be legendary if we get a response before the Twitch stream ends.
No, it turns out we just get a Discord invite, and it's just
oh my god!
we just hear like 3 words. Well, it's just 3 words. Let me in.
We hear it in our minds. He sends a psychic message to everyone.
Yeah, no, he pulls a Magnus.
Wait,
it's just
he's
a
becoming a Warhammer character?
No, he pulls a
like,
Magnus. He psychically bursts through my door and is like, "Let me into the podcast."
So I feel bad for Magnus.
Don't.
So Cadia stands. We went over just guard animation, not super newcomer. Artifacts. Trazen being a shitter.
Okay, so this one
Artifacts is great.
This one is really good in the sense of like it shows the attitude behind Chaos Space Marines. The fact that they because the whole illusion that Trazen has set up is that like the loop will break if you choose something different. And they know this by a certain point and they just won't choose anything different.
Yeah, the story is kind of meh, but Trazen being a shitter gets an A+ from me.
I did like the references that are in there because we saw.
There's a few good references, yes.
I'll just pull it up in Trazen's little vault. We see like a Thunder Warrior.
Yeah, you
we
can
see a
some
12th
of that
Legion helmet.
I don't know if I saw that, but
the more I learned about Trazen, the more I love him, and I actually have.
Welcome to the club.
And I actually I haven't listened to it yet, but I have that one audiobook where he
Infinite and the Divine.
Yeah, Infinite and the Divine.
It is a Greek comedy.
That's why I'm looking forward to reading that once I'm finally finished with Caiaphas Cain.
Also, it's hilarious that with the fall of Cadia, Trazen just shows up and goes, "Here you go, have some help." And then he throws his master ball at who was the one Cadian general?
Oh, Creed. He gives
Creed. He just throws the master ball at Creed and goes, "You're mine now."
And it's how we got introduced to other characters. Like it's how we got Greyfax back into the setting because Greyfax is old school Inquisitor. So we've got a Harlequin, we've got an old school Squat before they became Votan. We've got a Wraith Knight. I think that's an Imperial Knight in the background. Some minor like side Xenos characters. And then there's a Thunder Warrior, which was the Space Marines before the Space Marines, Max. That was while the Emperor was reuniting Terra, he had the Thunder Warriors.
They were more powerful than the Custodes, just so you know.
And so dangerous that the Emperor had to wipe them out.
He used the Custodes and Astartes to wipe them out.
Yeah. There's Creed.
Doesn't Trazen have a Krork?
He does.
Yes.
Oh no, it's a 16th Legion helmet, which I've always 16th. Forgotten. I've always forgotten the numbers. That's
16th, 18. That's not Death Guard.
Sons of Horus.
Sons of Horus. Okay.
Oh wow, that's a before they became the Black Legion.
Wait, is it a helmet from the Sons of Horus or when they were the Luna Wolves? Is it green or silver?
Is it green or white?
So I'll take a screenshot, but I won't be able to tell you because the whole room is green. So
okay.
Why it's
well, that's what sucks is like, okay, so and by the way Max, it does matter because when that's white, that was when they were the Luna Wolves, and when their armor turned green, that was when they were the Sons of Horus. Yeah.
So it's pre-War Master for Luna Wolves. When he becomes the War Master, I believe they become the Sons of Horus.
Also, that's just is that a Hive Tyrant in the background? I don't know my Tyrants very well.
I can't tell if that is yes. I believe that's a Hive Tyrant. Yeah.
I guess because you can kind of see white on the Hive Tyrant. I guess this would be a Sons of Horus helmet, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Sons of Horus because it looks more green. It's the issue is the lighting would be the same color as if white was getting cast because it's mint green.
Yeah.
That is indeed a color.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I just
get over it.
I just love this episode's ending. It's like Drayden's like, you can get out, but you won't.
Yeah, that's what makes this episode actually kind of decent. Because Trazen's such a shitter.
He's a shit. He's a shit poster. That's all he is. He's a troll.
Do you think he
So-
actively poses the people that are in his vault? Because
Yes, he does.
Creed's,
That is
Okay.
canon.
okay, because Creed's just smoking his cigar.
He
and it's
has
just like, that's-
dioramas that he has fixed
Whoa, he has diarrhea.
because he had the wrong regiment in like a diorama of a battle, and then he got the correct regiment and he put them in and replaced them.
Fucking Trazen.
Yeah. No, he's funny.
After
Trace-
artifacts, we have Plague Song.
Death
which is
Guard.
Death Guard, yeah. I'm not the
Kind
biggest
of
fan of the
interesting
Death Guard,
story.
but that's kind of because, like, I have voiced many a time on various podcast episodes and gaming streams. Kind of sick of Nurgle.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So
but
that's literally the most meta shit you could have said.
Yeah, but Papa Nurgle loves you.
I'm
Yep.
just,
and as long as you never change.
I'm just saying, like, if I
Body
think
horror.
I think Chaos Gate, I personally would have been like drooling at the mouth if instead of Nurglings and all. No, I was gonna say Zinch. I was thinking like
Zinch doesn't make sense though.
but then it would have been perfect for gameplay because it would have been Psyker on Psyker fights a lot more. And the Thousand
but-
Suns and the
Here's the issue with Zinch. They tend to do the more background manipulative stuff. They don't tend to be like frontline fighters because they fold.
But what about the Thousand Suns?
Thousand Suns are they exist, yes, but they also tend to not be doing anything right now because they're not actually super in love with Zinch. They kind of hate them.
Yeah.
They're dusty boys and they hate the curse.
They want to die.
They wish they could. And there's still this is old lore, so it is subject to change. But there are still a number of Thousand Suns that wish that they could help the Imperium, but they don't know how. Because they feel locked to a contract, and Zinch keeps manipulating them into doing what they want.
That's fair. What about for Darktide? You don't think they could have made at the very least an on par if instead of a Nurgle infestation, it was just a fucking demon incursion of Khorne? So it would have been dealt with
I can
Khornite.
see that being a thing. The issue is Khorne demons are a lot faster and a lot more vicious, and Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows. So the Khorne demons dying would make them stronger.
Which would explain the difficulty levels. Like that's what I'm going. Like it almost leans harder into the gameplay than if you're doing
I don't
fucking Nurgle.
think you should lean for I don't think in this situation you should try to find a lore explanation. There's an easier way to do it than saying the blood flowing is what causes them to get stronger. The blood flowing would cause them to consistently get stronger, not just because you selected a higher difficulty. The higher difficulty explanation is you went into a more infested area.
That's fair.
Plague Song is a lot easier for a new person to get into.
They talk about what they pretty the main
they outline grandfather.
They outline Papa Nurgle, what he's about, and that he loves you.
They also outlined the creation of the gardens and why it's important, and they care about it. The idea of heralds of Nurgle, the Nurgling sitting on the shoulder.
Also the showing like how retroactively like they had already won the battle essentially because the plague took everything out already.
but it was on fire, thus they lost.
Oh no, I'm talking about in the at the end of the episode, because that was a different planet.
Oh, yes. That was for a different goal.
Right. But the the garden being burning and getting gifts of Nurgle punishing the original leader.
Yeah.
A lot easier for new people to get into. The issue I find with it is Nurgle having the body horror, the mutation stuff going on, can put a lot of people off.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, we mentioned yesterday, if you're not expecting body horror, how sometimes if it's suddenly being there can, freak a person out.
Not be a good time.
Yeah, because
Walk into a theater expecting to watch Wall-E and oops, it's Saw. Well,
I was just expecting more of Starship Troopers 1, and then somebody's hand just comes out. Like, they put a hand in somebody's mouth and the fingers just come right off.
Well, I mean, as you can see, without its hand, it's useless.
Then we make a really weird jump that makes it very difficult to be able to tell the rules of what the show is going on.
Yeah.
From Plague Song goes to Double or Nothing,
which is the Sigmar episode.
The first of two.
When I was talking about this with before, I think we were halfway through the series when I was talking to Slur about this. I was like, "Oh, do you think the hammer is supposed to represent Sigmar, or if it's supposed to be more of a thunder hammer?" And I don't remember if Slur just outright said it's supposed to be a thunder hammer.
It's a thunder hammer because that's what they depicted.
Yeah,
isn't that also the logo of the actual Warhammer website?
Yes.
Warhammer, yes.
This whatever. Sorry, that's what it's called, right? We're talking about the stupid fucking website again. What's the actual website called?
Warhammer TV.
Yeah, Warhammer TV. So yeah, I feel like that just is appropriate.
The Warhammer TV logo is is actually just the fantasy hammer.
No, in the corner. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, in the top left
this.
corner, that's the fantasy hammer.
Oh, I've never.
That's the original Warhammer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the fantasy one.
That's the only one I've known. I didn't realize there were other versions.
There are other
kind of. Games Workshop, their original property was Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So that is their logo because that's their original property. Well, I think.
Bit of a meta question, but which one do you think is more popular now?
40K.
Depends where you are.
Really?
Yeah. In the UK, Age of Sigmar is actually a lot more popular than in America.
Oh, okay.
Australia and such also have a lot bigger Age of Sigmar and fantasy.
Well, that's because when they see the Tyranids, they're like, "Oh, Jesus, we don't want to go outside."
It reminds them of being home too much. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just not fair.
But I guess in the US, 40K is much bigger.
Probably, I would assume so. That's the gist I got, but I was just
that's the one with guns.
Yeah. And hardcore. I don't know.
I didn't realize how much effort James Workshop is putting into Age of Sigmar. James Workshop.
James K. Workshop, yeah.
I didn't realize that they're putting that much effort into Sigmar, because if you had asked me, like, if, like, me still being somewhat normie of the setting, if you had asked me, like, all right, what are they putting the more focus on? I'd say 40K, because I would be going off of, like, all right, not only the minis that, and also,
well, is there, besides these two episodes, is there anything in the Warhammer TV about Sigmar or fantasy?
There is 2 episodes in Hammer and Bolter that are Sigmar.
Yeah, that's what Max was saying. Other than those two, yeah.
Other than those two, okay.
Otherwise, it's just 40K. I was going to say
there are battle reports and then painting guides, but I don't really count those.
No, yeah. Anyone who uses who uses Warhammer TV to watch like battle reports or to fucking watch how to paint a vampire, just go on YouTube. Like, you don't need to pay money for that.
No, pay money. Give us money
or
so we can tell you
lore,
what to do. One customization.
Another thing, lore masters. If you're paying this money to just watch lore videos, just listen to Adeptus Ridiculous. I don't know what to tell you.
Or Major Kill or Bricky. Like, there's a lot of resources.
Yeah,
and clearly way more passionate fans than the actual people who make the show.
I mean, the Amber King will like when he does like a lore video, he'll like have like people read out lines and like kind of have like a little mini.
Oh yeah, fucking Voldemort is my favorite example of this. Before he'll do any lore videos, he'll just do a fucking story
that he wrote himself, I believe.
So, I found Double or Nothing being a hard transition from 40k to Sigmar.
It's
jarring.
A little bit.
For someone who's new to the setting of Warhammer, that may not know Age of Sigmar even exists. Because in America, 40k is way more prevalent than Sigmar.
Oh yeah, I didn't finish my thing. I also meant to say like, oh yeah, based off like video games, all that kind of stuff. Fantasy, the only thing I know is like there's that Stormcast Eternal turn-based game and Vermintide and Total War Hammer. Otherwise, it's like, okay, Space Marine, Battlefleet Gothic, Battle Sector, Dawn of War. There's Darktide. Like, there's just, like, if you were to just ask on, like, just from the normie perspective which one they love more, I would always point 40k.
There's Warhammer Quest. Total War. I believe Chaos and Conquest.
Oh, Chaos Gate. I forgot about Chaos Gate. Not Chaos Gate. It's where you play as the dwarf. Oh fuck me. Hold on. Because Chaos Gate's the Grey Knights one.
Yep. Chaos Bane.
Yes, Chaos Bane. Thank you. It's fucking. God, the naming convention of these is sometimes fucking stupid.
Is that a blade?
There's Vermintide. Underworlds is 40k setting. End Times.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even heard that one.
It's the last Marvel movie.
What?
Fuck you.
We're in the end times now.
Bam, 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 bam.
Oh, sorry. End Times is a Vermintide DLC.
Yeah, fuck loyals.
Yeah, it's they clearly love them some 40k more in terms of because
Stormground.
Because I forgot Necromunda as well. Battle Sister.
You can't just drop the N-word like that, man. Come on.
There's a lot more 40k than Sigmar games, but that's also because Sigmar kind of occupies this kind of weird place of being just another fantasy setting that follows a lot of the same rules as most other fantasy settings, unfortunately. Yeah. The only difference is the chaos gods, really.
And don't they not even really... They're not...
what? I don't want to get into that one.
Yeah.
That noise. Okay, fair enough.
It's hard because the Games Workshop just flat out just went like, yeah, let's just try again.
Fair enough. But anyway, talking about this thing.
Double or Nothing. It's really newcomer unfriendly, especially from the transition to 40k to Age of Sigmar. So you no longer understand the rules of the setting, even slightly, even though you don't get like a consistent thing from the other ones. It does have better animation than the others.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. The fighting actually has some in-between frames.
Oh, really? There's more than one frame. That's crazy.
You'd be a lot more confused by the orcs that are in this one because they're a lot more intelligent.
That's weird.
Because Age of Sigmar orcs are actually a little bit smarter.
Orcs is
they are.
Orc hit thing. Thing no longer has to be smart.
Well, they still do that, but they're just smart. They're cunning and brutal.
Whoa!
Yeah, they're not just brutal and cunning.
They are both brutal and cunning and brutal.
But brutal.
Yeah.
No, but brutal. Yeah.
Or yet, actually, is it yet? Or Gork is
I don't
cutting
know.
brutal and
I don't know. Ask
Gork-
Gaskell. He's their prophet.
Gaskell!
He's the prophet of Dewa,
Whoa.
prophet of both Gork and
Oh
Mork.
yeah. Also, I hope you were ready. Like you're happy with old Baelai's origin story, Max, because now he's dead.
Yeah, Angron killed him.
Good.
Well,
That guy's angry, so.
So then, Double or Nothing is kind of interesting. I don't know anything about the character. I don't know if he was pre-established.
I don't know, nor do I care.
I didn't really care either. Monsters though, this is my favorite episode by a pretty hard, like high margin, honestly. Monsters.
Is this the Gene Stealer one?
No, this is
I
the one I
hate
forgot
that
to
one.
show you, Jake. This is just straight up like chaos, like Viking people.
So this is the
I never saw this one.
The Chaos Tribes, the Slaves to Darkness.
Okay.
They are basically barbarians that decided not to follow Sigmar, and they split off and followed the Chaos Gods instead.
Oh.
Except, this is some of the best lore that has ever been written for Chaos, for Age of Sigmar, in a while. So, the Slaves to Darkness do not have a lot of lore, or at least whatever faction this is. So, they have not gotten a lot of love for writing lore-wise, but it is, yeah, it's Slaves to Darkness. That's who it is. They are they're humans that follow Chaos Gods, and this is like them before they're like fully chaosy. This is them while they're still
They just kind of want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Besides the war, but they don't really follow into the gods.
Yeah. So they're Chaos Marauders at this point.
Okay.
This is a tribe of people that are running from I think it's the Stormcast, the City Men, the cities of Sigmar actually. Separate from Stormcast Eternals, I think. They are basically a tribe of people that live off of the land. There are claims they're cannibals. That is explored slightly. They are starving. They're carrying a sacrifice. Their tribal leader is sacrificing. Is going to sacrifice this pig to something to be able to win and get away. It is the most thought through lore that I have experienced so far for like the Slaves to Darkness yet.
Do you guys agree? You guys are being really quiet.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I forgot to show Jake this one. That's why I was like, oh fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, you did forget.
Because again, like there were gaps between. As for example, the reason I didn't tell you to watch Interrogator, Max, which was another show, it wasn't done by the time we started this, and I thought it would be unfair as we were doing these.
You're picking on me for not fucking watching all these fucking things, and you had.
But I'm not. Hold on.
Hold
on. But the shows that I told you to watch were finished.
Whatever.
Like this was, and also like I'll admit, I fucked up.
Because the way Tanner's talking about it sounds really fucking compelling, and that kind of
once this is all done,
this is an episode you should go back and watch specifically.
Because of your recommendation, Tanner, I'll go back and check it.
I actually have another recommendation I'll be doing after we talk about Exodite and Angels of Death.
Ooh.
Because Interrogator, mwah, I love it.
I was enjoying what was there at the time, but it felt unfair to. It
is black and white LA noir. And
wait, hang on, not like fucking Angles of Death, right? Where it's actually
like true black and white. There is not a drop of color in this entire show.
Interesting.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when by the time we were touching this stuff, it wasn't finished, so it felt.
I was.
Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the other all of this shit that you told me to watch literally is like making me hate Warhammer 40k.
So
really coming in and really enjoying. 40K.
We can talk about it in a bit because I have I have notes specifically to give the recommendation without spoiling anything.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
But story-based content on Warhammer TV, I would say, not animation-wise, but like as a story that you can consume that is a full like start finish. Interrogator, I would place above Astartes.
Them's the
Story-
bold words. I just
story-
fucking watched Astartes.
Story wise, like from what was there at the time, I would agree.
Well, yeah,
I
because
still
Astartes
would-
has a story. It's just like really.
It's not the
basic.
It's a
forefront.
very brief story, and it's
Yeah.
mostly just to explain the. It's
To
mostly
explain
just
why
to
they're
be able
kicking
to
ass.
explore why they're doing something.
Yeah.
They're like just-
But this is something I would place like stylized, animation wise, no, but stylized animation and then story.
because Astartes.
I will actually go back and rewatch Interrogator.
Okay.
If we go and do Interrogator, I will go back and rewatch it if it's a watch party or with one of you guys if you want, and I will
Yeah.
gladly rewatch this.
So just to be clear, like you guys haven't finished Interrogator chapter.
No, we got
No,
to
I-
we got to episode
by the-
6. I think.
No, by the time we got to
I
yeah,
would
by
say
the-
Interrogator Chaplain, but you guys haven't watched that, so that could be like.
let me
to this
where
whole thing.
let me see where we were at because
Unless you guys haven't talked about Astartes yet, which we could.
we haven't talked about Astartes. I think we purposely said we're not talking about Astartes, but we can at the end talk
because
about
like
it.
there are a lot of things that I actually picked up on my last rewatch of Astartes. There's like a lot of details.
Yeah, we were at episode 6 out of 10 episodes. Oh wait, no, the 10th is just the final cut. So they did the thing where they turn it into a movie. Which I'll just
For what?
what for
For
Interrogator.
what? For Interrogator. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So by the time it was time for the very first recording, we were on episode 6. The show wasn't finished, so I felt unfair to talk about it. So this Interrogator will get its own episode, I feel like.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
I think it's fair because watching the entire thing through, it is a full story. There is a start.
Yeah.
You got a mystery that you're trying to solve. It's its own thing.
And unfortunately with Monsters, the fucking Chaos one, I realized as this was getting closer, I'm like, fuck. I because we watched the Angels of Death Mechanicus prequel episode, and that's all we did. I went back to sleep because we were supposed to do this with with Danny from the Fem Marine episode, and he ended up having to drop out.
So then Monsters, I recommend you watch it. It's some of the best Age of Sigmar content that GW has released in a while that I have actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was well put together. I personally, like, subjectively, I was like, it was all right because again, I'm just not that big a fan of Sigmar.
I was about to say, subjectively, I'm not that interested in it because like I'm more of the 40k because I really
40k is why I'm here.
So I recommend it because it's a good story. There are hints of the twist at the end throughout it, and if you can, I will watch it with you, and if you can tell me what the twist is before it happens, then I will buy you lunch or something. I'll buy you a pizza.
No, you just suddenly Tanner will just buy you a mini.
No,
this is how it happens.
Buy me the sniper dude. He's cool.
The Vindicare assassin?
Yeah, the Vindicare assassin.
I think he
Which
specifically
one?
wants the mini that I'm getting through my membership.
No, just the one that was shown off in the birthday video was pretty cool.
Oh, just the normal Vindicare?
Yeah.
Well, both are available. You can just buy it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, so you're gonna buy it for me.
I'm sorry, fucking what?
No takes backsies.
After they release, you can just buy the other one. Yes.
I could have bought the fucking one that's hanging out in that statue this whole fucking time.
It's available. Literally. I can do it right now.
Isn't it available for like $1 billion though?
No, it's like $40.
Oh, okay.
Fucking,
Could you please? Really expensive.
Could you post the link just so my hopes could just drop? Is fucking.
It's under promotional items. It's $42.
Because of all things, like, there's 2 minis that I'm, like, really irritated I couldn't grab. One of them was the anniversary one with the Inquisitor stabbing the sword.
So you're
Like,
talking about this
stabbing the
Vindicator
tome.
standing inside of the Saint statue head?
As I'm quickly opening up Discord.
I got it.
Workshop, copy link. This is how
Why don't you just click the link?
because I need to go into my settings and turn off Opera as my default browser.
Jack cookies. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really want this mini. I didn't realize I could have just fucking bought it.
Yeah, because you weren't originally going to be able to. But then there was a whole bunch of people making a stink about it, and so they changed
then how come I can't just buy that Inquisitor? Why of all things this was the thing they made a fuss about?
Because it's year 1's Warhammer Plus. This is year 2. You can't get it before everyone else.
Okay.
So this happened a few months after the minis actually shipped.
All right.
So, next up is my least favorite episode of Hammer and Bolter, A New Life. The Gene Stealers episode. Sorry to spoiler.
I really liked A New Life, but I think it's just because I think I was caught up with the twist at the end.
The twist was what caught you, right? It was like, oh man, they're just escaping, and it's like, great.
And as they reveal the baby, and it's got the fucking crest, and it's like, oh, it's been Gene Stealers the whole. Because Tanner, I think I've only told you a few times, I really like Gene Stealer cults. They're actually like my favorite.
They're really cool,
subfaction.
but the issue is they told and did not show. They did not give any hints that it was Gene Stealers. They didn't like leave the Gene Stealer cult logo sitting on like one of their tabards or something, or
yeah,
like
we
they
just
didn't
see that
show the
Tyranid hanging
logo
out
near the.
We just see a Tyranid in the sewer.
Well, you see a Tyranid in the sewer, and then it attacks. We're going to need to, if you put this on YouTube, we're just going to put a spoiler warning before talking about this episode because...
Oh, this is part 3. Everyone who, like...
Fair enough.
We've done, like,
if you're watching this, you're
breakdowns of each fucking episode.
If you're watching the stream about the Warhammer shows, there's going to be spoilers, and if you get upset, well, guess whose problem that isn't? Ours. It's not our problem.
Okay. Fair enough. Basically, they went the entire time acting like it was normal humans without giving any hints that they were like weird. There was a couple small things that were a little bit strange that I wrote down. The knowing about the smugglers' tunnels beforehand. They should have shown the Gene Stealer cult logo near the smuggler tunnel before the reveal. They should have had they were showing the foreheads of the people a lot and just not like designing them as Gene Stealers. They should have hidden the foreheads more.
Like Last of Us?
Stop it, Max. We're live.
No, we can't go on another rant of fucking
I forgot that wasn't recorded.
I got 45 minutes.
I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing great. The show's great. You're a good actress.
Legitimately ugly person.
What?
Leave the literal child alone, guys.
She's 22, I think.
Yeah. Wait, she's 20. What?
Yeah, there was a really weird article that popped up in my newsfeed that says like she had to wear a boob brace the entire time. So, well, no shit, she's playing.
I thought that was more of the fact that they're non-binary.
They're called binders.
Binders, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm okay. So I don't. Okay, so I don't feel bad about making fun of her. Good.
Wait, is Bella Ramsey non-binary? Really?
Yeah.
Yes, apparently.
Okay. Well, she needs to change her name.
No, but so because like I would feel bad if Bella Ramsey actually was a child. That's why I was like, oh man, it's really unfortunate this child. It's like, oh, you're 20 years old. You fucking 5-head fucking weirdo.
Then why does she looks 15?
Anyway,
She's just short.
Let's bring it back to Warhammer.
Sorry.
Which is was way more impressive than Bella's head.
Krazen's forehead is more impressive than Bella Ramsey's. All right.
Okay. So,
So what's the deal with the forehead? You said that like
New Life. So gene stealers have extended skulls. They go back up and back, kind of like a xenomorphs, because that's what Tyranids were based on.
Yeah.
So
Really
and
being
they have a
creative there,
couple
GW.
at the very end of the episode. Everything from GW is stolen. At the very end. Okay, so actually no, they do hide the foreheads a little bit more than I recalled. They're all wearing hats, so scratch that. There is the hint of the head looks a little bit long on the woman, but they're not blue.
Yeah,
They
this
should
is
be
the
slightly tinted blue.
Yeah, this is the subtlest gene stealer cult I've fucking seen.
Yeah.
Also, if they never showed what the baby looked like until the very end.
No,
would've probably
they
helped.
actually show a child.
The baby.
Yeah.
So the
They
twist.
show a child in a couple sections.
Yeah,
think.
I know. I'm saying if they didn't show the kid until the very end, that might have helped.
Yeah.
I think what's also unfortunate is what makes this really weird is because they're not tinted blue and all that stuff and not showing like mutation. By the time that this Tyranid invasion happens, we're probably only like the second or possibly only third generation into a
It's
gene
really
stealer
really
cult.
early on into gene stealers, and then the baby shouldn't be a true born yet.
The baby.
Yeah, because the whole
Yo,
thing about
baby.
gene stealers is a coup generations in the making.
Yeah. It's literally my least favorite episode. If anybody has stuff to talk about on it, go ahead.
I more have a
So-
question for you. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say, is the guy who like blew himself and the commissar up, was he a gene stealer too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so that makes,
everyone
that,
who
that
was
makes more
involved
sense
had
now.
to have been a
Okay.
gene stealer.
Everyone involved
Okay.
is hinted at being a is suggested to be a gene stealer at the end of the episode when they reveal to the father, the ecclesiarchy guy, that they're all gene stealers and they're starting a new life.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So, my question for you is, do you think they did Gene Stealers in A New Life better than they did Gene Stealers in Angels of Death? Because I think the
Angels of Death is post takeover though.
I know, which makes this a tiny
It's
bit
like post
unfair.
takeover. It's like a fucking good minute after the fucking takeover.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
It's
how
why-
they're like, "Oh, these guys seem weird.
Which is like, I know, that's what makes it kind of unfair
Fuck, dude,
because,
it's stupid. Like
because
I really hate
what-
Angels of Death.
because what makes Gene Stealers like my favorite part of is the subversion, is because of how what the Gene Stealer does to the original person, and then as it reproduces down the line, that's the part I like the most. So when they've finally taken over, I think that's honestly not the most boring, but it's the stage I'm actually the least interested in. That's why I like this episode much better than when the way they're represented in Angels of Death.
I think the way they are represented in Angels of Death is more accurate to how they would look that far in, because you got Trueborn, you got the 3-armed ones, which are something that you got some aberrants or whatever they're called. Gene Stealers is not my faction. I hate the Filthy Xenos.
Yeah.
My primary faction is the Salamanders.
Based.
Oh yeah.
Secondary faction right now is Night Lords.
I think
Pretty based.
The more I think
And
about
then-
it, I'm actually go ahead, Tanner.
My first faction I was interested in, the one I started off in, was World Eaters. So I'm actually like so happy about the latest releases. Like this is taking me back to when I first started with my dad.
Cool.
I think I started with Custodes, then built some guardsmen, then put a bit of money towards Death Watch,
That's a mistake.
Yeah, in hindsight, I liked the design, and then that was it.
Henry
Then
Cavill's with the Blood Angels, and then with Custodes, and he also has salamanders.
you were muffled. What did you say, Max?
It said Henry Cavill has.
Oh yeah,
he
a
started with
salamanders and
Blood
Custodes.
Angels, then he went to Custodes, but he has salamanders on the back foot.
Yeah.
Base
So
salamanders.
then I have
Base
some
salamanders.
Tempestus Scions, and then I've built a few Mechanicus people. And then bought a knight from Tanner. So
The only mini I would ever buy is a Vulcan thing. That's it.
Hey,
It's
real
the only
quick.
one I would ever buy.
Real quick, to stop to interrupt, but apparently Midnight Suns is free on Steam.
Okay.
I just saw this article pop up. Can y'all verify this real quick?
Yeah.
Marvel's Midnight
is.
Suns. It's not free, but it's on a discount.
Free weekend.
A free
Oh,
weekend.
okay. I might still grab it. It's only
It said
it's only
fucking
36.
see.
It's only 36.
Let me see.
bucks.
It ends in 20 hours. I don't know if I add it to my account, it's going to be permanent, but it's 40% off right now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna buy it.
I would say don't buy it.
No, it's a free weekend.
Okay, that's cool. I thought it was free. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, they really gave up.
So that concludes Hammer and Bolter.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's kind of like I think even with episodes that I like, even with episodes that I liked, I'm still just like, oh, thank God, it's finally over.
Yeah.
See, I mean, like, I feel maybe I'm a bit. Well, obviously, the animation's bad, but like, I very much enjoyed the whole of Hammer and Bolter. I would watch it again, actually.
I'm gonna give a cliff notes on the episodes I wasn't here for. Death's Hand. Hate the writing, hate the animation. It set off a really bad start for the series of Hammer and Bolter.
Which one's
bad for? That's the Interrogator, or not the Interrogator. The
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
The Assassinorum, then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible. Like legit.
Bound for Greatness.
Super predictable. I let Wyatt know in a call a couple days ago. It wasn't just like a possessed, like regular possession or demon of Tzeentch. No, it was a
Bringer of Change. Lord of Change. Fuck me.
Wait, so it wasn't Tzeentch?
It was Tzeentch.
Yeah,
but it's a greater demon.
Yeah,
it's the bird head thing.
Yeah, I was going to say we've got a Lord of Change is the greater demon of Tzeentch, a Bloodthirster is a greater demon of Khorne, a Keeper of Secrets is a greater demon of Slaanesh, and a Great Unclean One is a Nurgle.
The Great Clean One is Nurgle.
No.
Oh, isn't that Asmongold?
You know what? Fuck you, cleans your Great Unclean One.
I'm working on it.
The great unclean ones are very friendly, though.
Wait, Square's not here. Nobody else got the Asmongold thing.
So, Old Bale Eye, fun, but the consistently bad animation from the rest of the series takes away from the orkiness of it. If it was this episode was the only one with this animation, I would find that so hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That would have added so much.
There's only so much you can forgive with.
Yeah, you and Slur were saying that, and like it fits like the orc like storytelling thing, and like I do agree, but the fact that it doesn't look that much different from the other shit.
Yeah, it's only that to me. That's only what makes it palatable. It's not good. Like it's a fucking disgrace when when
Fangs.
Fangs was I hated Fangs. I hated Fangs. Fangs was fucking stupid.
Fangs was such a bland Space Wolves episode. There are so much better stories you could have told with Space Wolves.
And like it felt like
it's literally just initiates. It felt like a shitty
Flash. It felt like a shitty Flash Kids cartoon more than the actual
40K. It was the initiation of a couple of
aspirants.
Whatever aspirants. 2 die, 1 makes it, whatever. Question of Faith. Worst animation with Wilhelm Scream, I believe.
Yep.
I might be mistaken. There might not have been a Wilhelm Scream in Cadia Stands, but I know there was in Question of Faith.
There wasn't a Wilhelm Scream in
decent writing.
There wasn't a horror. There wasn't a Wilhelm scream in Katie Stands, however, there was the screaming goat one.
Okay.
Yes, that's worse.
Yeah. Worst animation could it was an okay story, passable, could have been better. Garden of Ghosts, I really like that story. Animation holds it back. It's very sad. There's a lot of emotion in Garden of Ghosts. It's for Eldar.
Fortunately, since I don't care about the filthy knife ears.
This is a more personal story, not the night. It's not about the Eldar specifically. This is
You almost said the racial slur. You almost said the racial slur.
Kill
Protocol.
I liked Kill Protocol.
Good question of humanity for a Mechanicus. The robot had such smooth animation for the head turning. I don't know why.
I think Kill Protocol might actually be, other than the ones after
Double or Nothing.
Yeah, the ones like after Plague Song. So after episode 10, Kill Protocol might be the only one that's within the original 10 that I think is the best animated.
Yeah, I honestly really liked it. It's got a really interesting moral quandary in it, and that gets completely ignored by a character because that's in, like, lore-wise, it makes sense.
Do you think Kill Protocol was... did you watch the Angels of Death prequel episodes?
I did not.
There's a Mechanicus
they're
one
actually,
that's
they're really good.
I don't. Okay, so Jake, you and I can have this discussion. Would you Kill Protocol or the Mechanicus episode of Angels of Death?
Oof. Oh God.
One of them shows like the humanity of the Mechanicus.
Yeah, one of them
shows off how fucked up they can be.
I mean, like, it's kind of hard to compare them, right? Because like they're two different aspects.
It's two different aspects.
Like Kill Protocol is like the Mechanicus, regardless of how much they claim that they're above humanity, they still have their base base level humanity still intact in them, even if they have a lot of it ripped out. That's why when she was freaking out when the robot was like damaged and dying, because she genuinely cared for the robot.
Yeah,
it's like,
and
it's
why
like no matter how much you try,
she sacrificed the STC for him.
Yeah, like the only way to truly rip away any humanity you have is to become a servitor, as we've seen. But if you want to remain functioning, like, no matter how hard you try, you'll always be human. Whereas in the latest Angels of Blood episode, it's like it still reminds you that, oh no, whatever humanity's left is so buried deep within that it's like you'll maybe see it once they'll maybe have a couple times in their life. It's so messed up.
To give you a synopsis, Tanner, so you know the tech priest that's in Angels of Death?
Yes. The tech priest?
Yeah.
Yes.
The tech priest that was just she's in her little bunker just hanging out. The story is told through like records of this process, and we follow a guardsman and his sergeant. They stumble across the Mechanicus's lair, and then I forgot what the person on treads battle servitor is called, but they stumble across it. It's like, all right, you will follow us. My captain's hurt. All right, let's go. Like, it just fucking Then they get to the Mechanicus lady, thrown into a cell with other people. One of them was an Administorum person. The other one was just a normal trader. And we find out that this is as the revolt is finally happening. This is like an as it's happening type deal. The tech priest is like, all right, so I've got enough ammunition and power to be here for like, I think it was 45 days, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, all right, so I've got plenty of bullets, I've got plenty of this stuff, but you know what I need? I need flesh, as a servitor is failing right next to her. Mm-hmm. and the guardsman gets paralyzed and then turned into a servitor. And then as she's been going through all of these records, at the end of it, she deletes the fucking record. It
He's
shows
not
like
notable enough to be remembered.
yeah, it's just I really like it because we see that glimpse when that tech priest in Kill Protocol is hanging out with that guardsman, and it's like, oh, you've got that arm. I need that arm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like it's like the flesh is weak. I need another servitor. I'm gonna just carve you to pieces now.
Yep.
So Jake, you are right. It's like it is tackling two different aspects. So we almost are comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, we are. Which they both do really good jobs in what they want to do. Although if I were to prefer one, I prefer Kill Protocol because I don't know. I mean, like I know 40K is a depressing environment, and not everything's gonna be like have any kind of
You have
remnant of
small
happiness.
stories of hope interspersed because
Yes,
can you really be depressed if you never had hope to begin with?
Exactly.
That is
If you just keep
yeah.
doing like if every book in 40K was Demunculaba, then it's just like then
Oh,
there'd be
I learned
then there-
more about Demunculaba.
Yeah,
by the
no,
way.
we're not getting into that.
we're not getting into it.
No,
I was more just bringing
I'm
up
not-
like in terms
I'm
of
not
the
gonna
scale.
I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just saying that I've learned more about it, and I'm leaving it there.
That is good.
I wish it didn't.
In terms of so it's like that stuff is really fucked up, and I think that's what elevates books like Caiaphas Cain. Not only because of its fantastic writing, but because Caiaphas Cain is a fucking story about a guy that's just scared out of his fucking mind, just trying to either run away from the battlefield and ends up looking like a hero, or just charges despite the fact he's scared.
So he's like Timothy Dexter. He fucks up so many times. He fucks up, but in him fucking up, he succeeds.
The problem is like it's told from his point of view, and it's theorized that Cain has heavy imposter syndrome. So even if he
has like a really bad self-esteem.
Yeah, even if he actually genuinely did something good, he'll normally write it off as he was just trying to be a coward.
Yeah, he always has an excuse of I wasn't trying to do it for the good. I was doing it to try to survive or get away.
But he actually does quite a lot of good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like to the degree where like this can't just be through your own selfish means? You're just putting yourself down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty. It's why like it's why people love them some Caiaphas Cain. I'm one of them.
I am too.
Fucking Caiaphas Cain's a really fucking good character. He even he got a fucking Slanesh demon to like actually like more than just the generic lust over somebody. This person actually just went like this demon of Slanesh is like, I want your dick.
So instead of you're gonna get mine, I want yours.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they may be even better looking than Sanguinius, which is heresy.
Sanguinius is the most beautiful of Primarchs. Fulgrim can eat a cock.
Oh, also,
I mean, he does, but but metaphorically, not literally,
also,
like he does.
Also, Cain is actually a lot smarter than. I know it's a meme that commissars are like known for murdering their own people for the fuck of it, but there's a lot of lines where Cain will go like, "No, I can't just shoot one of these people to get them to do what I want," because there's a lot of stories of commissars dying bravely in battle miles away from the front lines. He knows how because he's smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, you won't.
When are we gonna get our?
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was like, when are we gonna get the canonized version of Kaldor Drago when he asks someone, has he had a tangerine?
Yeah. So let's move on to the next show. I want to go over Exodite because it's the next one that I have strong feelings on.
Max, are you back yet? Because this is kind of what I was looking forward to, hearing you two talk about Exodite. Because I think Exodite, as we were just looking over those little clips, I'm like, oh shit, I remember the least about that one deserved a rewatch.
I think we've already talked about Exodite though, I believe, haven't we?
I don't.
In part one.
You guys, in part 2, you talked about it a little bit with Connor.
Oh, okay. Because I remember us talking about it. I didn't really care much for it. I like that Clancy Brown was in it, and that's about it.
Flame, episode 1, Fish People.
Hold
Not
on,
newcomer
Max.
friendly.
Max, are you back?
Max.
Okay, so he's still.
All right.
I do
Then
like that the Kriegsman clapped at clapped at Tao's cheeks. That was funny.
yes. Let's go over my general thoughts of the series, and then we can get into depth when Max is back.
Okay.
I'll do just I hate
right.
Exodite. The animation, lip syncing was awful. They don't really introduce any of the characters in any meaningful way. They kind of just say, "Here you go," and send you off. There's a couple scenes that are cool, but for the wrong reason. There's a couple scenes that are cool for the reason they were going for, and it's in spite of the animation, which I didn't like. It's better than Hammer and Bolter, not as good as Angels of Death, I think, in my opinion. That I'm not really sure how to quantify that, but we then go into let's just talk about Angels of Death for a second then. I liked it.
I like
Yeah,
Angels of Death as well.
So do I. I think I mean, like, I understand like the sound design's pretty bad, and like, well, the animation's decent, the art design isn't
The
particularly
soundtrack
great.
I think is god awful. I'll actually
Yeah,
state that right off the bat.
Yeah.
What soundtrack?
So no, well, when we did hear
I'm
the
kidding,
soundtrack,
yeah.
the problem is that so when we ever okay. Tanner, you and I are the most familiar with like the 40K games, right? Because unfortunately, Jake, you just haven't played that many.
Probably.
I've played Space Marine so far.
Okay, so when it comes to like the biggest example being like Dawn of War, when it comes to the themes for the Space Marines, it's very it's not fucking synth is what I was trying to get at the end point here, because I couldn't even think of that much, because I don't know why they decided to just give it the Blade Runner soundtrack.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
That was very, because when I think of like the Angels of Death, like I would imagine like in like when they're like fighting, I'd imagine like operatic, like kind of like a orchestral opera with people singing in Latin as they slaughtered through everything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's normally the themes used for Space Marines, whereas like the Guard, they use a very industrial, like war style.
They do
Band.
very World War II marching tunes.
Yeah, very drum heavy.
Mechanicus is diesel punk dubstep.
With a fucking like, and some people drop the bass. Fucking Mechanicus drops the fucking pipe organ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sisters of Battle is going to be church music.
Yeah, very hymn like.
Yep. Now there's not a lot of games with them, but Gene Stealers. What do you think their music is normally like?
Okay, so basing this off of the knowledge I know of the Gene Stealers, I would assume their music is very punk heavy.
So, Gene Stealers are normally the Guard music with punk undertones hidden in them.
Okay, so I was right.
So the idea is you're not until the reveal happens, at which point you get Mad Max style punk music. So it's very interesting. Angels of Death did not use music effectively in any capacity.
No, it was like
the Gene Stealers in Angels of Death are much better depicted. The fact that they have taken over and they were hiding it from Astartes in like directly in front of their face.
Well, it's because they weren't. It's because there was no one there for a good few minutes.
Well, so they start off and they suggest that they had actually been there for a couple days because they had to do repairs and they were refueling.
Hmm.
So and then on the docks there was people working and they had no idea that the Imperial Navalis crewmen were none the wiser. That's partially because gene stealer cults are not talked about very often within the Imperium, because that's heresy and mutants. So you don't discuss it because that's no.
The Inquisition was a mistake.
The
No,
Inquisition is the
no.
best thing that could have happened to the Imperium. I will shitpost on that hill till I die.
Well, no, yes and no, because it's like, yeah, they're brutal and they every once in a while blow up a fucking planet.
I know they are a necessary evil, but still.
Yeah, they're super necessary, like because their whole thing of like innocence proves nothing. You could have somebody that just genuinely is just living their life in a manufactorum. Turns out they were a fucking Alpha Legion spy, and they don't even know it.
Well, I mean, he is Alfarius. We are all Alfarius.
I am Alfarius.
I am
No,
also
I am
Alfarius.
Alfarius. No, I'm Alfarius.
Well, I'm Omegon. So
Wait, was Omegon the loyalist?
twin.
No, is he well? They both traitors.
No,
or were they
we're
both
not getting into that.
We're not.
Okay.
That's the point. That's the point.
Okay.
They are the twin Primarchs of the 20th Legion, Alpha Legion. That is as far as we will go with that, because this is not a lore video on Alpha Legion. I would need to do so much more research into a faction that has no lore.
And also,
Yeah,
we'd also
they
accidentally.
there's not a lot on there.
We'd also just accidentally would become like a store brand Adeptus Ridiculous by that point.
True.
All right, Max is back. You two talk about Exodite.
Okay. I hated it.
I thought it was fine.
All right.
I wasn't in love with it, so like I'm not that strongly opposed to you.
My notes are for this are an entire page, but that's because I wrote really big because I was angry.
Ooh, really? Okay. Well, here's the thing. Let me go into this straight up saying that, like, I don't know much about Tau. Fuck. Hang on a second.
This is actually going to be part of why I'm annoyed.
What?
That's actually something I'm going to be a little bit annoyed by for the show, because the show does not introduce the Tau in a satisfactory way.
Okay. I feel like it did it in a pretty okay way. I will agree that with the limited time, they didn't really get a chance to actually go into any details. So that's why I just wanted to put that caveat, because I don't know enough to get offended. I was just okay with what I saw. Though there was some weird things that I could point out, but we could talk about that.
And I quickly went back over the text, like, oh, you said it was the best, but that's not a high fucking bar, so never mind. Yeah. I thought you were genuinely.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The best was Astartes, because fuck yeah. But this one was the next best one that I saw. So let's see.
I actually always hate the fact that Astartes is sitting on that same fucking thing with Exodite and Angels of Death.
I will read my notes for the first episode of Flame word for word for you.
Go ahead.
Fish people, not newcomer friendly. Poor character intro, lip syncing.
Yeah, even though I did like Exodite, the fact that all three of these have shitty lip syncing and it's a weird throw line for it is really distracting. I think it's made worse so because in Exodite you have an excuse for covering everybody's faces up.
Yep, and they keep zooming in on the face in the helmet for some reason,
which is stupid because it kind of takes away.
Listen,
from
if
the armor,
the main character's a female, right? Like a woman.
Yes.
Tau.
Okay, well,
listen. If she doesn't look like the Tau thoughts in the fucking meme art, then I don't want to see her.
I'm about to say shot. From my deep researching and deviant art on the Sisters of Battle and Tau, I'm really disappointed in what I got in the actual shows.
But I would say DeviantArt is probably a better place for lore for Tau than Exodite.
So here's the thing with the lip syncing thing, they actually did something really fucking clever. When whoever that Jamaican battle lord or whatever was handing down her promotion or whatever, they do these really interesting shots where you only see his hands and like his throne. You don't actually see him talking. And I thought that's what they were gonna do for the rest of the thing, and not show
No.
lip flaps. And no, they literally fucking contradicted the second he stops talking.
Yep.
I
That
also
stops
just
immediately.
I also just don't like the Tau in general.
Why so?
Like everything I learn about them, I don't know.
Why?
Like
You're
I know
a
like
weeb. They're Gundams.
Yeah, the fact that
don't-
she looked like fucking a Titan from Titanfall, I was like, yo, I'm kind of sold.
They've literally got the Destiny logo on their face.
It's
okay, so their technology is cool. I just don't like the Tau as a species. I don't know. There's it's just, and I don't really have a good reason for it either. It's just inherently, I just dislike them.
I am neutral on the Tau.
Their faces are pretty fucked up, not gonna lie. They look like they just got their face split open.
So
Well,
I'm.
that and a Tau hurt Kitten's feelings, so I kind of hate him for that too.
That's not fucking canon. So
What?
He's talking
No.
about text-to-speech.
Yes.
yeah, the reason why Kitten, which is a Custodes, hates the Tau is because he actually got into a romance with a fucking Tau lady, and they couldn't keep it because
Oh yeah, I saw you talking to me about
His
that.
he was
So-
too big for her face, vagina.
You get a very short intro into the character. You don't have you kind of see the character is consistently making kind of bad decisions that is just go forward for the greater good and getting the people killed. While I think that's accurate because the Tau are in no way military masters. Yeah.
I thought it was just because their tech can compensate for their overall bullshit.
Also,
that would require them actually including the AI that are involved in basically every suit they have.
That's fucking lame. Yeah, that sucks. That should've been
so
there.
I forgot to include this as you guys were talking. I'm neutral on the Tau. If there's anything I just don't like, it's more the fact how they were introduced. Because GW straight up went, they're the good guys, and that was the stupidest decision they could have ever fucking made.
They should have stuck with it, and I will actually fight on that one.
Yeah, 100%. I fucking completely disagree on that.
The way the Tau were introduced was they are these super naive people that are good for the sake of being good, and they are getting their shit wrecked every point of the way.
Exactly.
It's
think-
super interesting.
I think it's
because-
more of the so how it is now. I'm fine with like how it was introduced in the meta is like if I remember correctly, Games Workshop genuinely said they are the good guys.
No, they did not. The way their lore was written was that they are the good guys, but they did not say they are the good guys. They are a naive, kind people in a world of hate and war.
Which could be really fucking fitting in a grimdark way. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's
It's like
fitting.
them
If it
being-
really is
like-
just that, then that's fair enough.
They
Then I
tried
guess
to reason with a cult of corn.
well, yeah,
Gas cult of corn. And
Corn is a very reasonable guy if you talk to him.
yes, very.
they tolerated it. Gene Stealers started taking them over, and they were just like, oh yeah, since we're like inclusive, we gotta let the four armed people be part of here. So if that is just a misconception, then that's fine.
They just denied chaos existed for a really long time, and that's why Farside Enclaves exist. We're not going to get super into Tau lore, though. That's not really the point of this video.
Yeah,
Or
because
stream.
it should have been on the onus of the show to go into the lore.
At least enough to introduce the faction that a lot of people just don't know a lot about. A lot of people look at them as weebs.
And from the most part, universally don't like.
Yeah. Episode 2. My notes are incredibly short. It is 6 words. Fish dying, Titans fucking shit up.
Wait, is this the
I
episode
will
where the
admit-
Kriegsmen just came into the town? We're like, yeah, here's my shovel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that Kriegsman just beating that fucking Tau to death was my favorite
Yeah.
moment, and I think Slur and I said, I believe our words were, "Oh, the actual heroes are here."
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I actually really liked the depiction of the Imperium not being. Fuck you. The depiction of the Imperium not being like, because obviously good is a subjective term in this like universe. Usually the Imperium in pretty much like 90% of the lore, it's from their perspective.
So they're depicted as heroes.
Exactly.
But seeing them as like this force, like this overwhelming, like horrifying force, like when their fleet comes in, it's not treated with like reverence or anything. It's like, oh shit, the Imperium of Man are here, and like
So
the Titans, like just wrecking everything. Like,
yeah.
it's really well done. I've had a lot of fun watching that because
The Titans are honestly the best part, bar none. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really
Until
funny that the
episode-
show of the Tau, the best part is the Eldar and the humans.
Mm-hmm. Also, Clancy Brown was in it, and that's cool.
hell, the show is not even narrated by fucking Tau.
Yeah.
It's narrated
narrated by an Eldar.
Yeah, Clancy Brown, who was an Eldar, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That was Clancy Brown, really.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Clancy Brown.
Cool.
He was in. Yeah,
That's cool.
I like it when I recognize some of my favorite voice actors in 40K.
So episode 2 is where like 90% of the people that drop down with Shasvre Lakoma, the main character, they die. 90% of the squad dies in second episode.
They like get wrecked, dude. Like,
You see a whole bunch of stealth suits and battle suits get shot out of the air by a Titan.
which was really funny when I watched that.
Yeah.
It's just swarming around.
And they're just like, oh, let's just fly right at his gun barrel. That'll
love
show
how
him.
It's like they're swarming around the Titan, and it's just like, all right, get the point defense guns out. Get up.
Yeah.
It's like fucking gnats. Like, get off.
And you see like the destruction that the Imperium of Man just causes to everywhere they do battle.
And it's fucking awesome. And big.
Yeah, it is.
It's really-
So I take it we're all pro Umi in this chat.
I'm sorry. Are anybody not a fucking human in this call? Next question.
Yeah,
I'm a
exactly.
slowpoke.
I mean, like, should we allow this Xenos to live, or is he cool?
Well, he's a slowpoke. They're like the chillest Pokemon all time, so yes.
So unless you have something to add to episode 2, it's basically all I had to talk about was the Titans.
Is Tau stupid?
Well, hang on. Well, yeah, it's all
Yes.
stupid. The idea of like how? Oh my god, yeah. No, they get like really dumb in the next episode, but we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But like the power pack thing, it's like, no, we must reserve our power. And it's like, well, why the fuck are you coming down with suits that like aren't like powered? It just felt like a really weird thing because like we just got here, we're running low on power, so we have to conserve all of our powers. Like the fuck.
The idea is there's a time skip, but it's not well communicated.
Yeah, but that's
because they skip all the traveling,
yeah,
and that's the fault of the failing of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, they all got bodied. Ha ha, stupid fucking Xenos. Anyway.
Ashes. Fish v Elf. Wraith Knight go Burr. Clowns Jakari. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hold on.
Listen, actually, it would have been so much better
Tanner,
if it was that.
Tanner, I would be at your throat if that's what the towel looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. The female town need to look like that. They just do.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was a guy until she opened her mouth. I was like, oh, ew.
Yeah. That's because the feminine features don't translate well.
Yeah.
Jake, get out. I see you posting filthy Xenos porn.
Listen, I'm doing it for the
Doing it for us?
For research purposes, as I load my bolter.
Wait,
It's for research purposes. The Inquisitorium needs it so they understand.
Pick your next words carefully, Marine.
They need it to I'm working with the Inquisitorium. We've captured one right
guardsman.
now. We need to know how they reproduce.
as you feel the barrel just pressing against the back of your head.
And it's like it's for the Inquisitorium. It's for the Emperor.
what's wrong? she's hot. It's just a totally normal reaction. Doesn't make me, click, 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 click. Oh, sorry, scroll.
Exit window.
The fight between the fish and the elf.
It's weird that it's weird that like he bodied her whole fucking squad and yet couldn't body her as easily, despite bodying her.
Yeah,
he, like,
literally multiple times.
He removed her frontal camera. Like she's like kind of fucked now. Yeah, and like no, sorry, even before that though, she's like, I have him captured. Come get me. Doesn't have him captured.
Yeah, I have him surrounded. We've got him. And it's kind of leads into the naivete of the Tau.
Yeah.
Well, there's being naive and then there's being stupid.
Exactly. I was about to say there's being naive and it's like, no, you're just wrong.
Well, I think it's naivete because the Tau are not expert like in combat, and this tactical stuff is new to their species as a whole. Their tactics are very naive and young, and they are relying entirely on their technological advantage to get them through, and you see it throughout the entire show that they're getting bodied because they are just throwing themselves and hoping their weapons are better to take down threats that they just can't handle.
Yeah, and
the only reason,
as far as I know, their technology is way better. They're just
100%.
Yeah, the only reason that Tau do so well in the tabletop is because the person playing them is actually like fucking doing tactics. Yeah, because
they just have a big gun.
Yeah, because their whole thing is like compared to your average guardsman, they aim better and they've got a better gun. Now, when you put that a squad of Tau versus 100 guardsmen, those little flashlights are a sight to be seen.
Yeah, so the whole thing of like, it seemed like she didn't know that Homeboy was gonna grab him. It's like there's nothing that makes sense about that whole scene. It's because like she leaves Homeboy behind because she got her entire squad killed because she's an idiot, and they somehow unstealth in the middle of a battlefield. Because that's how this episode begins. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like it literally begins with them literally dying, and it's like, oh, all right, good job, dude.
Yeah, it's the remainder of the squad dies at the very beginning of this episode.
I love the idea. It's like, but it's my first day. It's like, yeah, but you shouldn't fucking be doing this.
You may as well start using the clip from Simpsons. It's my first day.
So yeah, she throws the beads, which I thought those were like a ceremonial thing for her promotion, but apparently they were the traps. And it's like, oh, JK, it didn't work because he turned around. Oh no, my entire plan.
I believe they're stasis beads. Is what they're called.
They looked like they tased the guy's suit, so maybe.
I liked the conversation that Tau lady and the Eldar.
I did like that. That's probably why I came away from it kind of liking it. Is because like literally what Tanner is saying. It's like you guys are dumb, but also I kind of hated it too because it's like, oh, we don't want to talk. It's like, what?
Well, because
we just want to fight. It's like, okay.
Well, yeah, I like what the concept is very interesting to me. It's one of Warhammer's oldest races talking to the youngest.
It is the second oldest race in Warhammer.
Second only to like the Necron.
The youngest.
Yeah.
The
Eldar were created to fight the Necron tier.
Yeah. So the Necrons being the first oldest. It's a very fascinating, and then so I take it when we see those Wraith Knights coming in. So are Wraith Knights on the tabletop? Is that just another scaling thing, or is it just
you haven't seen a Wraith Knight on the table?
Really?
Are they just that huge?
Wraith Knights on the table. Nobody in the store has a Wraith Knight.
I thought Justin has one. What is
So give me a second, because there's other things that they have.
Oh wait, so Wraith Knights just
y'all
not
figure that out
in the game?
Wraith Knights are basically Eldar mecha. Except
Well,
instead of us,
No, they're not mechas. They're titans.
I know what Wraith Knights are. I'm just saying, like, are they playable in the tabletop?
Yes.
yes,
Okay. Or are they just really expensive?
they're
They
almost
also
100.
expensive.
They're not almost 100. They're 100+ bucks. Come on, me. What are you doing?
He has a Wraith Lord.
Oh,
He might have a Wraith Knight, because they're as tall as knights on the table, I believe.
yeah, I believe he does have a Wraith Knight.
Death by
Copy
snoo,
image,
death
paste.
by snoo.
I'll ask him.
Yeah, finding out that those things are as big as Titans was interesting because I thought this whole time I didn't realize those were Titans when we were watching the last little bit of the episode.
No, that's a Warlord Titan that it at the very last it does a dash and then cuts through the waist.
Yeah, because I originally thought it was a hold on as I bring up the Knight collections too, because I thought it was Armies of the Imperium, Imperial Knights.
It didn't look like I cut his waist. It looked like he cut his leg off and then like it fell over.
I thought it was
which was kind of hilarious.
I thought it was a Castellan Knight because of the guns on the shoulders.
No, the wrong guns. Here, I'll pull up the actual knight that it was, or
You
the
mean
actual
Titan?
Because it is a Warlord Battle Titan.
I'm finally so for the audience and also just people here, I bought Tanner's Knight for like $90. Decided I needed another. I'm accidentally gonna have a knight army and I don't even play.
Copy image, posting in chat. Here you go. This is the Titan that is on screen. You see those big triple barrel guns?
Yeah.
Fat boy.
The Mars pattern Warlord Titan stands nearly 2 feet tall on the table.
Wow, that's really big.
Yeah,
Aren't they
the
700
Mars
bucks?
pattern Warlord Titan has the one on the show has the laser blasters on the shoulders, and let me find the arms. A Mori Quake cannon on the left arm, and I think also on the right arm.
Well, I will say this: that both the Tau and the Titan, the Wraith, they were lucky Marnius Calgar weren't there, because Marnius Calgar would solo everything.
So the Titan Wraith Knight is sorry, that is not a Wraith Knight. That is a Phantom. So it is a Phantom Titan with the Phantom Power Glaive. Phantom Titan Power Glaive. So it's not a Wraith Knight.
That's another Titan.
That's the same one.
Yeah.
That's a Warlord pattern.
I was just showing off a different picture because
shit. I like big shit. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you were to collect any,
my goal is eventually to buy a Warlord Titan.
If I want a Titan, I would want a War Master, and I will quickly post this one. A War Master Titan with plasma destructors. That's what this picture is called.
My problem is I want it to be to scale to the thing. So when you walk in on the tabletop, you need to be walking in with a fucking mannequin and slap that.
So the scaling is an issue. If you wanted it to be more accurate to the way the size of the like Marines. Yeah. There are about 20 humans in the head of a Titan.
like I said, you're walking in with a mannequin. You're basically rocking that bitch under your arm. You slap that bitch on top of the table and like, let's go. Do you win automatically when you do that shit?
It costs 5,000 points for the tabletop. Normal max points for a game is 2,000.
So yeah, you win.
Sure.
You win twice over.
Uh-huh.
Still, no, it was really cool. But like I said, it was weird in the animation where like it just cuts his leg and it looks like he just falls over and it's like, oh, huh. Really? We didn't figure this out with Star Wars, that big thing you can't walk with legs?
And
Legs
they
are
also moved
overrated.
slow. That's another thing I liked about them is that they were slow and clunky. I like that because they don't move fast. They're giant mechanical beasts.
It looks like it fucking crushed some of their own people too at one point.
Oh, 100%.
The
110%.
the guard are just fodder.
Yeah.
It takes 160 guardsmen to stop Angron from being able to attack anything else.
So, you know what's funny? All right. So Max, I just posted an image. Don't, Tanner, don't.
That looks like a goddamn like when in Real Steel when he has to like fight for the kid has to fight for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like that junkyard looking place. That's what it looks like he's fighting.
So, so these things are fucking tall. You understand that, Max?
Yeah.
This is a Scout Titan.
Well, yeah, it looks like crap. So let me see the cool effect.
It's covered in enough, like it's got enough guns that it could probably level a country if it really tried. And it's like that's a Scout.
Yeah, but it looks lame. Like you're not selling me here, dude.
No, I'm not selling. I'm more just talking about like it's a quote.
You want to know how fast a Scout Titan can move?
Nothing that big should move that fast.
36 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
So yeah, a Space Marine actually probably could move faster than a
They
Titan.
do move faster than the Warhound.
So it's just I find that absolutely hilarious. That it's like that's a Scout.
So if you want a piece of media that does Titans and the Imperium justice for how terrifying they are, Twice Dead King, Reign has a scene where the Imperium lands and the Necrons are trying to flee the planet because they don't know what's going on and they're dying in the thousands.
I thought the Necrons were like the final boss of the fucking universe.
Not to a tomb world that's barely awakening.
Yeah, well.
So that is the Warhound Scout Titan.
Yeah, it looks gay though. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's got the Terminator helmet. So I'm wrong on it being a Wraith Knight. It's a Phantom Titan. It go burr though.
It go burr.
Clowns.
It cleaved the fucking thing in half.
Yes. Clowns and Drakari.
It didn't cleave it in half. It cut its leg off. It gets cleaved in half in that Warhammer.
Right. I was thinking of I was the Dawn of War.
You're thinking of a cooler thing, Wyatt. Stop doing that. This is not cool.
Then
I want it to be cool.
They get pushed into the webway portal. It's suggested that the Eldar dude dies, and then Kagarak is basically played rock paper scissors with Slaanesh for his soul. Said no, you're coming with me, and left while Slaanesh was trying to figure out how to play rock paper scissors with snake hands.
Wow, words are being said.
Yep. And then the Eldar gets sent to Kamarok, which is.
You mean the Tau got the Tau got
yeah. The fish got sent to Kamarok, the Drakari city.
And she's not gonna have a good time, Max, because
she's now living furniture. She will be kept alive almost indefinitely.
Hell yeah.
And Justin has a Wraith Knight, but not a Phantom.
Okay.
The Phantom is twice as tall as the Wraith Knight.
Gotcha.
So in terms of if we had to rank the three, where would everybody's, like, of the people who's finished the shows, where would we?
Angels of Death top, Hammer and Bolter second. I still hate Exodite. It's bottom.
For me, actually, that's pretty much my thoughts of the ones that I've actually watched, and at least, well, I never finished Hammer and Bolter, but it's only 2 episodes, so. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts too.
And because we've been going for a while, do we want to talk about Angels of Death, or do we want to save it?
I think we've already talked about Angels of Death, Wyatt and I.
Right, but we never really get complete thoughts on Angels of Death, especially now
the
that
art
the
style
prequels
and the fucking animation are ugly and bad.
I didn't hate the art style. It's stylized, which I like.
It's stylized, but I feel like it's stylized to too much of a degree. We could barely tell what's going on because the red is washing out the black and the white, and like to the point where the Space Marines are actually fucking glowing, and it's really obnoxious.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, in one positive thing I'll say is that the main Blood Angel came back from the Death Watch.
Yeah, but he's a fucking idiot because he took off his helmet before getting into a firefight and has 2 minutes. And he has 2 minutes to put it on because we see these fucking slow things running into melee range. Yet the Space Marines don't open fire on him. Like I really don't like Angels of Death.
I mean, you're right, Max, but that wasn't where I was going.
Okay, good.
I was just going. It's like it was nice to see kind of like how there was friction between them because he left to go join the Death Watch, and when he says his piece about how he didn't have any of his brothers there to like confide with, you know, I thought it was a neat little character bit. I thought that was okay. I thought that was cool.
That's fair, but I completely forgot about that because the next scene that happens made me rage quit the show.
I'm just gonna go real quick, rapid fire, episode by episode. Episode 1, Blood and Duty, introduces the characters, starts setting up the mystery of what happened, how they got there, and basically states there's an issue and people are missing that went down to the planet. About sums it up.
Yeah.
Episode 2, they head down to the city. Stuff is weird.
Oh, hang on. I do want to say that this is the worst mouth flaps in the entire game. Or entire series.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
they literally are just like doing O faces instead of actually doing any kind of like articulation with their mouth. Except for, it was weird. One of the people on the bridge, he had like this like gas mask thing over his face, but you could see his cheeks like moving in different directions to articulate his face. That level of detail is not on any of the characters that aren't wearing anything.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it was.
It's weird.
It was.
It's like, okay, you put it there, but not anywhere else. Cool.
Episode 2, drop pods. They're cool. Any complaints?
Drop pods are cool.
Yeah, they are. The drop pods are cool. Yes.
Episode 3, you start setting up something's going on weird. People start attacking for some reason, and then you see the forehead.
I do want to say that while I was watching it, I was comparing it. I was saying that it was like a diet of Astartes, but it's weird that like when that like Gene Stealer thing tells its cult to go forward to kill the Space Marines, like it literally looks like that shot from Astartes where the two giant dudes are basically telling their like boys to go get the Space Marines. It's like, oh, that's kind of funny.
4, Awakenings. We start getting into the Black Rage side story.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
any thoughts on that part?
No,
honestly, I fell off at episode 3 because like the choreography just like was terrible. Like we didn't mention that either. Like for some reason the sound design in all of the guns sounds like it's in the next room over in a soundproof room.
Oh, was the soundtrack? We were mentioning the soundtrack while you were away. What did when it did eventually play? What did you think of it, Max?
Honestly, I was kind of distracted with my rage. I think I was going into the, what do you call it, the Black Rage?
You were succumbing to the Black Rage.
Because like it's just one of the things that's like you need to, if all the fucking things that need to be nailed in a 40K thing, you need to hit the choreography and the action. And that was not being held. So I was like, what the fuck am I watching this shit for? And it's like, yeah. So like I said, that was my personal thing. I'll admit that maybe there's some stuff later. Maybe some of the personal stuff was cool, but like the thing that was like making me appeal, that's why I picked that to watch first, because like, oh, Blood Angels, they're really fucking cool. Let me watch. And it's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that's like the order in which we watched these shows. Jake, I think it was Exodite, Hammer and Bolter, and then Angels of Death.
Yeah,
that's the same order I watched them in. It's really funny. Episodes. Something this show struggles with is action movie one at a time enemies.
Oh yeah, there is a shot that I do want to fucking put notice on as well. It's in episode 3 where the horde is like running at the what are they called?
Blood Angels.
Yeah,
that's their chapter.
I'm gonna call them Marines. So they're running at the Marines, and they do that that shot where it shows behind the Marines, and then it zooms in on where the enemies are coming.
I'll be right back.
Also, God, there was another thing that bothered me. At the end of episode 2, they show the fucking guys running at them and them getting ready to fight. And the beginning of episode 3 is just them talking.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like, did this come out weekly?
I don't know.
Because like, if it came out weekly, I might be able to give that some leeway, but it's still a problem. But the fact if this came out bulked, that's even worse, because it's like they literally showed like them about to get into a fight, and then they start the episode, and it's 10 minutes of them talking about Homeboy's feelings. And it's like, and then they show the exact same shot of the exact same shot of all of them running at him.
Right. So overall about the show, because to just summarize by this point, I liked what it did when it came to the Black Rage, especially showing that not everyone was immune to it. Like the fucking captain guy that not main character person, the person that they went down to search for in the first place. The fact that he was succumbing to it possibly near the end, and he had to hold himself off on it. It was a little weird on how they were showing that he was having flashes of it, but like they weren't doing a good job. He was just sitting, like if it was showing him in the middle of combat and then the symptoms sinking in, that'd be different. But he's watching his squad mates just shoot people, and then he's just like, that was a good shot. And
yeah, the Black Rage was inconsistently used.
Yeah.
100%.
I liked what it did, the moment of like, oh yeah, the guy who's been struggling with it, he's able to keep it under control, and the person who's been warning about it, he's the one who succumbs. I kind of liked that kind of style of storytelling. And my biggest problem really with just overall with Angels of Death is this is a pretty nice story when it comes to like the Marines themselves and like what it means to be like a blood angel. But unfortunately it's once again poor animation, poor sound design, and one of the things I didn't really like was like the soundtrack really did it fucked with me. There's the moment where they destroy the space elevator, and I'm hearing fucking Blade Runner music, and it's like, this is not anything that I want to do with fucking Space Marines.
Yeah, like a literal dun 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 would have been better.
Then episode.
Oh yeah. Okay. What is the security? So what are the ships called in Warhammer?
Naval vessels.
Naval vessels. Like they don't have any special names. Like
they have classifications.
So what was the class? What was the class that the Blood Angels came in on?
The Sword of Baal is a battle barge, if I remember correctly.
So what is a battle barge? Is that like a big deal or what?
So a battle barge is basically just the main ship for carrying Marines. They're not that
strike cruiser.
Yeah, they're not really that great in naval combat because their whole thing is
no. I'm not getting into naval combat. I'm talking about just security.
Oh no, it's awful.
Apparently, because a bunch of fucking normies with knives were able to take off the whole fucking
I
thing.
didn't quite understand.
That shit was wild.
If
And
there
yeah,
was-
that's another thing too about the shots being. So that's a problem with the fucking the art style is because if Blood Marines aren't on the screen, it's all just fucking like blurry shit going on. I couldn't tell you what the difference. Like if I showed you shots of the space elevator and the ship, like you wouldn't be able to tell me which ones are different. Like you know what I mean? It was just
Also-
like it was just really lame. And
also, in terms of like lore inaccuracies, are there really only like 10 or so Marines on a fucking either
So
Strike
That's
Cruiser
actually that's talked about. That is
yeah,
mentioned.
but that is talked about. It is talked about that they are like running low on.
So there's supposed to be a
almost.
full company of Marines, a full company of Space Marines.
Yeah.
So
How much is your average company? How many?
It's like 100.
Yeah,
They literally they were just in a battle.
Yeah.
And
They were resupplying.
and they were recalled back to Ball during the heresy is what I believe was going on.
Yeah.
And they got lost in the warp, came out.
Sorry, fucking Discord had a hard crash.
But like I
Thousands
said,
of years
people getting
later.
taken over in the space elevator. Like, it's just it was a really strange thing.
All right, could you
Like I said,
repeat?
it
Fucking
bothered me.
Discord crashed on me. Could you repeat?
Well, shit. So
Okay.
the idea of all the people on the space elevator getting blown out by a bunch of freaking people pulling out knives from the bins, just it felt really strange, especially in like.
Yeah.
I guess what's the Navy called? Is it the Imperium? Is it like
It's
all
the
Imperial Navy.
The Imperial Navy. So
This is a specific. This is a strike cruiser from the Blood Angels.
I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt for the elevator because the elevator.
So they were just in a heavy battle. They had suffered many casualties. They had lost like 90 Marines.
I actually had a question about the when they were.
A lot of the crew was dead.
When they were getting lost in the warp, I had a theory that the reason they got lost right as they were going to warp was because that was the exact moment the Cicatrix Maledictum opened.
I thought the way they were talking about it was shortly after the heresy.
They're fighting Tyranids.
Yeah.
Tyranids are like
I honestly don't know when this is supposed to be taking place. I do know that when they got lost in the warp, they dropped out like 10 years later. But it's hinted to be like 1,000.
So here's what the timeline of this is. It's shortly before, like, the reason they're getting called back to Ball is because of the Tyranid invasion with the right before the Indominus Crusade. So like that's why I was like, oh, the reason they got lost in the warp I thought was because the Cicatrix Maledictum splitting the universe in half was what did it.
Yeah, but I feel like the theory crafting doesn't matter because the show is just a mess.
Oh yeah. Like
that it doesn't give you enough to actually theory craft. That's the sad thing.
So
yeah, it's either they just
6
got
is my favorite episode.
That's
naval combat.
Yeah, it's the sound design is even worse than that one.
Well, hang on, because it was actually a really interesting thing that
it's muted because sound doesn't travel through space.
Well, sound doesn't travel through space, but I thought the idea is that they're still in either one. They were still kind of in the.
They were still connected to the space elevator.
Yeah, they're still like part. Like that's what I'm saying. The idea is they're still like within atmosphere to an extent, but I thought the other thing was just like the whole like Warhammer 40K experience is that these things are so badass and powerful they're just making noise in space.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll give credit to that sound design. I will not give credit to the fucking sound design on the ground.
Oh no, yeah, that's awful.
Honor of Angels was kind of meh, starting to get into the figure out what's happening. Rise was Captain falling to the Black Rage. Slaughter is when they awakened a Dreadnought.
Slaughter I liked, but that's just because like
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought, yeah.
Dreadnoughts are fucking cool, but god damn it The problem that I have, however, with Slaughter is that is where the sound design is at its absolute worst. The fucking
it's worse?
minigun on that, like, I forgot exactly what the name of the gun on the Dreadnought is called, but they don't even give it a proper burst.
I think those aren't Gatling guns called heavy bolters.
No, that's a different.
Heavy bolters are different.
Yeah.
I
don't have Dreadnought, so I wouldn't.
I don't have any Firstborn Dreadnoughts.
Oh.
That is an assault cannon, it's an assault cannon.
Which is pretty much a handheld version of, like, more powerful than the GAU 8 cannon on the fucking A10 Warthog.
No.
Chill.
I was told this thing is pretty damn powerful.
It is, but it is a chain gun. It's like an M134 bolter.
Yeah.
It's still a bolter.
All right.
Bolters, brothers.
That's fair. It's like it was definitely. I think the sound design, that was where I was the most irritated, because I was like, because it's like you have this fucking minigun and you don't even give it a proper burst.
Mm-hmm. Hell, the fucking sound design in Stick Fight seems better.
Yes, it is.
The Astartes Mark 8 of solo pattern assault cannon, also used by Terminators.
Old words for someone in assault cannon range.
Blood Ravens be like, me, an intellectual.
So that was a Castaferum Dreadnought, I believe, because it had the flamer on the other arm with the
Wait, a flamer or a heavy flamer?
A flamer, I believe. I don't know if it's a heavy.
Actually,
it's
never.
hard to tell.
You like salamanders. What actually is the difference between a regular flamer and a heavy flamer?
Xavier.
Volume of fire, literally.
Fair enough.
Exactly. First of all, this is a heavy flamer.
So I believe the difference between a flamer and a heavy flamer is the fuel they use.
Mm-hmm.
I think the heavy flamer has a longer range and has higher AP because it burns hotter because of the fuel or something. I don't know specifically. I don't have access to flamers because GW doesn't like the salamanders.
Yep, despite salamanders being based in the best faction.
Indeed, they are. That is the correct opinion to have.
Mm-hmm. Best Primarch too.
So heavy flamer projects hotter and denser flames. I mean,
don't worry, Wyatt. Gilliman and the Ultramarines are the second best.
I knew you were staring at me as I'm just like looking at my new Gilliman mini.
You can tell the difference between a flamer and a heavy flamer because the heavy flamer has 2 projection.
That's what I thought.
It's a double-barreled flamethrower.
That
is the most fucking 40k shit ever.
Because fuck you, this is Warhammer.
I will say this though.
Has a regular flamer because it's a single barrel.
Yep.
My movie starts at 7, so I can go for a little while, but
pretty much everybody was supposed to. Yeah, like I've been trying to.
That's it. Like we're going over it. Like
I know you are. I'm just giving you a heads up.
That's fine. I just didn't like Angles of Death, so I got everything.
That's perfect. That's fine. Like the thing is, like with Angel of Death and Hammer and Bolter, and I guess I haven't finished Interrogator, but from what I saw of it, was relatively fine. I'd watched most of Hammer and Bolter and pretty much all of Angels of Death again. I enjoyed them. It's just the best Warhammer related show was taken from us, and it wasn't even produced by GW.
Yeah,
that's the biggest takeaway of all of that.
Yes.
So
fuck you, GW.
Hammer and Bolter, I will never be watching again. I will never watch Exodite again. I will never watch Angels of Death again. Interrogator, I will watch again.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you're putting it up there with the Starties, I'm definitely excited.
I heavily enjoyed Interrogator because I really like the LA Noir.
That's fair.
So
La Noir.
Then fuck, I was gonna say that. All right.
Sorry.
You fuck young boys, Inquisitor.
Have you ever had a tangerine? Would you like one?
Thank you, Max, for the giggle.
Well, if you don't shake the Warhammer, you never see it falls out.
I'll just give you I'll give you my sales pitch on Interrogator. You are following a character who was part of the retinue of an Inquisitor. He is a psyker known as the Interrogator. This is all stuff you learn in the first 5 minutes, so I don't feel bad.
Does he have the cool helmet?
No, he actually goes without actual armor through basically the entire thing. He survives on his wit and skill with a gun.
This is structured genuinely like a fucking pulpy noir thing. Like the movie,
yes,
it even starts with him in his office just pouring himself a drink.
That sounds sick. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it sometime.
And
so we'll see.
He's haunted by stuff he's seen, and he has an internal monologue going through the entire show.
Yeah, it's just
sick.
Yeah, it's fucking really good. I really wish it had been finished.
You had me an Interrogator.
So I heavily recommend it. It is one of my favorite pieces of Warhammer content that I've actually consumed. I would hold it up there with several books, honestly. If we could get an animated telling of the Night Lords trilogy, that would be pretty cool. But until then, Interrogator is going to be my favorite.
Okay.
All right, with that, that's part 3. Don't know if it's the conclusion. I don't know. It's definitely not the conclusion because we're gonna hold an own thing of Interrogator. Yeah. So with that, we'll see you next time in